Hi families! This video is to help you with your Phonics Unit 24, Lesson 4. Here are the materials that you will need to have available for this lesson. We will be using the Phonics Works Reader Basic 6. It's pages 25 through 30. Our lesson guide, pages 640 through 644. You'll need your sight words box, your tile kit, and a whiteboard to draw on with your student. We're going to first take a look at some of the offline activities out of the book that you will complete with your student. The first one is a pick a pair sight word game. You will have your student draw from a pile of sight words pairs of words, and then you will give them some clues to help them figure out which word you're describing. In this first example, you might say, I'm thinking of a word that is a number word, and they could read the word 1. In this next example, if they drew these two words, you might say, I'm thinking of a word that is the opposite of off, and your student could read the word on. I would suggest that they still read both words, and you just have them pick the mystery word that you're describing. The next offline activity from this lesson is called Quick Sounds. And in this activity, you're going to be listening for the ending sound of some words. So students, I'm going to tell you an ending sound. Your job is to think of as many words as you can that end with that same sound. So for example, if I gave you the sound th, 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 you might say math. That has the ending sound th, th, th. If your student gets stuck on thinking of a sound or a word with that sound, you can have them walk around the house, do a little I spy, looking for something that has that ending sound. So in our TH example, they might say bath. Let's do one more example. How about the sh sound? Can you think of some words that end in the sh sound? Some examples would be rush, mash, bash. Another little strategy or trick you can tell your student is to think of some rhyming words. Sometimes that will help them brainstorm more words with that ending sound. The next offline activity from this lesson is a finger stretching activity. So you want to listen closely, students. Remember, if you need any help with finger stretching, or you are new to our school and have not practiced this yet, there is a video located in Unit 3, Lesson 3, on the opening screen that will give you some help with finger stretching. Remember, students, when we finger stretch, we're working on making the beginning, middle, and ending sound of each word. So let's practice with these words on the board. The first one is with. If. And then your lesson guide will give you some questions to ask your student about these words. How many sounds are there in the word with? Let's count them. If. There's 3. Let's finger stretch the word pin and figure out how many sounds there are in this word. Pin. There are 3 sounds in the word pin. How about this word, chum? Let's finger stretch it first. The CH work together in this sound to make the ch sound. What is the first sound in this word? Ch. That is the first sound. There are some more sounds and words included in this lesson for you to work on with your students. In the Review Vowel Sounds and Letters activity, you're going to use your letter tiles. I would first give your student a pile of letter tiles and ask them if they can search through them and find the vowels by themselves first. Then you can help guide them as needed. So they need to find A, E, I, O, and U. And then I would mix them up and do some practice with letters and recognizing the sounds. So you can point to a letter, for example, the O, and ask them what sound it makes. Ah. Remember that O can make two sounds, so you can talk about that with your student also. Vowels can say their name, O, and it can also say the short sound, ah. You can also review these vowels in the opposite way by telling your student a sound and having them touch and find the letter. You might say, which vowel sounds like ah? And then they could find the letter A. This activity is called Guess the Word. You can write these words on a dry erase board for your student and tell them we're going to play a guessing game. I'm going to read a sentence with a missing word, and then students, your job is to look at these words on the board and decide which word would complete my sentence. So let's read these words first and see what we have here. Wish, rich, ship, chin, chat. All right, now I'm going to read a sentence to you, and I want you to figure out which word would make sense in that sentence. You have a spot of ice cream on your... Which word would complete that sentence? If you're not quite sure, you can try some of them to see which one works. You have a spot of ice cream on your wish? No, that doesn't make sense. You have a spot of ice cream on your rich? On your ship? Those don't make sense. You have a spot of ice cream on your chin? That makes more sense. The last answer, you have a spot of ice cream on your chat. That's a silly one. That doesn't make sense. So in this case, chin is the correct answer to complete our sentence. Let's try one more. If you look far out to sea, you can see the sailing. Look for it first, students. I'll wait just a second. And this one, the correct answer is ship. You have to use your clues in the rest of the sentence. They're talking about being out to sea and seeing a sailing ship. There are some more sentences for you to try, and you can find those located in your lesson guide. The final offline portion of this phonics lesson is for your student to read from their Phonics Works Reader, Basic 6, and you will be reading from page 25 to 30. This reader is about can. So make sure you encourage your students to stretch out those words and sound them out as best as they can. It's helpful for students to touch the words as they are reading if they have trouble tracking that text and following along. I would suggest you let them try to sound out the word first and see if they can figure it out by using their picture clues, and then support and help them as needed. After reading this story, you can make a list of all the words that they missed and go over those words with your student. You might also like to use letter tiles and let them create those words to read them and review them again. There are several online activities that your student can play games in when you go to mark this lesson complete. The first one is on letter sounds, and you can hear these words, fingers stretched, and hear the sounds in each word. And then there is another game where they have to select words that have the same sound. So in this example on the board, they're selecting words that all have the M sound at the beginning of the word. And that is the final activity for this phonics lesson. You may now complete those activities and then mark Phonics Unit 24, Lesson 4 complete.